Hello, this is Bino. I'm an arborist and a tree climber specialist, and what I like to do on my channel is share tree climbing tips with beginners and experts. So about a week ago we did a video on a Unicender using an MRS configuration. So this is a Unicender, and today what we're going to do is in the SRS system. So I'd mentioned in the last video that this is one of the first mechanical friction hitches that I used. Since then I've used a few other ones, but this was the very first one I used, and I never did a video on it, so here we go. We're going to do it in an SRS configuration and go up the tree and walk around a bit and come back down. Let's get to it. So as mentioned, this is a Unicender. So last week when we did an MRS, you would throw the rope over a branch, connect it to the top, and then connect this to you, and that would be the MRS system. Well, on the SRT or SRS system, it's real simple. You connect the rope into these little grooves. So to do that, you pop them into that groove, and you got to make sure you do all of them in this groove. There you go. Installed, you have the rope that goes straight down past this L. Now with this part, you connect that to your saddle. Let me connect it here. And then I'll connect to my belt here. Now we're ready to start to go. Now what this does, once you put your weight on it, it grips. Now to descend, you go around this bar, you pop it on, and then you pull, and that would be your descent device. Now when you want to come off a descent, you pop it off and then it locks. There's also another way where you can grip it and you throttle. It's really scary if you're in midair because it can go pretty quick. You have to spend some time getting used to that. I prefer wrapping around that L. So once you have this installed, you get your chest harness or whatever you want to connect it to and connect to the top. Now once you got that, you'll get your Unicender. For me, I like to pop it open before I start to go up. Then I'll get my foot ascender and I'll connect it to my foot ascender. Now what I'll do is I'll take a couple steps up, put weight on it, and once I got some weight, now I'll put my knee ascender on. There I go. Once I have that, then I'll start to ascend. Pretty simple if you as you're just ascending. Now once I reach the top or where I want to be, I'll take off my knee ascender. After I take that off, I'll take off my foot ascender, and then I can go ahead and do my climb. I'll undo my chesty. All right, and what I'll do is I'll just walk out on a limb. Let me get this out of the way also. Let me see. Let me readjust here. Disengage it so I can descend a little. Get on a branch. Reduce some weight. All right. Now, once I've reduced my weight, I'll take my knee ascender off, and then I'll go to walking on a limb. So let me get it a little tighter. You'll put your weight on it, and you can see this bar here. You loop around that bar and engage. Now it's in descend mode, and then you can descend. So that's one option. And once you want to stop, you flip it off and it locks in place. Now the other option is to throttle this. And if you're walking on a branch, it's much easier to, well, let me get this below me. It's a lot easier to throttle this than with the rope. There you go. Now to move back in, pretty simple. Just like you were using like a micro pulley. Now there is a downside that it's an L and sometimes it'll slide out. So you kind of have to be aware of how you're pulling it. Now what's really pretty good about this too is that sometimes when you clip it to your chesty, or yeah, your chesty, and if you're going up when you're holding branches, I don't know if it'll do it right now, but if you're holding branches, when you start to climb, it will just feed on through. So if you're going up, sometimes it goes all the way through on its own, and you can ascend by climbing. And then when you sit back, it locks into place. Pretty nice. It does take a little bit of getting used to descend. And if you're wearing leather gloves, it's a little bit more difficult. You could rub the rubber off your gloves. Engage, and then you descend. Undo it. Move around. Throttle it. Take your time when you're throttling it. It's a lot easier when you're on branches because it's not dead weight when you're throttling it. Basically, really simple mechanical hitch. Simple to operate, simple to install. There's a downside about this. It's that the longer you use it, sometimes these holes here, they widen. So, you know, at that point, it would start sliding. This one I've had for years, but I haven't used it so often. In fact, I came across it and I'm like, oh, darn, I haven't done a video on it. One of the downsides about it, but something that's real simple to use, you can use an MRS and SRS. It's a nice little option. All right, so I'll descend down and, oops, let's see how it goes. Alrighty, so just as I mentioned, you'll lock that, go around that bar, disengage the lock, and then descend. And you know, by what you let go, that's your speed. And when you're done, you snap it off and it locks in place. So there you have it, the Unicender, using it in an SRS configuration. Really simple to install, simple to walk around in the tree with. The only those couple things you gotta remember is to descend, wrap it around the bar, and you can throttle it by depressing this. Know that if you're in midair and you depress this, it could run really fast. It's something that you gotta be careful about. Anyhow, hope you guys like this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you like what we do. And by all means, share our video. Take care. We'll see you next time.